I'll tell you a little anecdote on integrity and lighting side of our business. We inspected a school district in Arkansas, and the big high-mast lighting pole that was literally where all the buses lined up. And our inspector inspects this thing, and it had weld cracks all the way around. And some of the weld cracks you could see light through where the pole shaft and the base plate meet. And this pole in a very light wind was going to fall over, and we quarantined it. We said at school, you got to quarantine this area. This pole can fall down at any time. And the superintendent decided, no, we can't do that because this is where the buses park to pick up kids. And we go, are you out of your mind?
That should be the one area,
That's
right?
the one area where you don't. But that's the kind of pressure that some of these
Absolutely.
either superintendent or facility owners under is, well, this is how I've always done it. And I can't move where the buses pick up the kids. Well, yeah, you could. Do you want the pole to fall and kill
Absolutely.
10 or 15 kids? Absolutely not. And those are really tough calls for us to make as an engineering inspection firm to say, no, guys, this is serious problem. And you need to do something about
Absolutely.
it. And sometimes they just don't understand the seriousness. And it's like, no, it will fall down. And if someone's around, it will kill them.
Yeah, and we've had those situations, right, where we live in Texas, right? The big thing here in Texas football is Texas high school football, right? It's almost as big as college. And we've had clients say, Justin, I can't not have our game. We're Friday Night Lights. We're here. We've got to move forward. And we explained to them, there is a large level of risk of that pole failing if any wind comes through here, right? And we've had that also on both sides where they're like, well, can we make it through Friday? And it's like, well, that's not all decision to make. We're telling you that it's catastrophic failure. It may be imminent, right? You need to shut it down. And they've continued to have the football game. And luckily nothing happened, right? Which we're excited to see that. But you have other guys that are willing to shut it all down and move that game to another field. And I think that's a true sign of integrity of we're going to protect our students and our families and friends before a football game has to be played, right? But there is that pressure, and it's real.
No, absolutely. And like you said, I think doing what's right when nobody's looking is what really matters. Absolutely. And doing what's right when everyone is looking really matters, right?
Does.
And we see some of both.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we're trying to do here in our podcast is just talk about, educate folks so they understand what the risks and challenges are. I mean, hopefully folks today will hear 5 to 8% of all the lighting infrastructure they walk around or they run around or they're around every day is in really catastrophic shape. That's a big number. And you're talking millions and millions and millions of structures in just in the U.S. And so, we're just telling folks that maybe don't know, be thinking about this. Be thinking about building a pilot program or a budget. Maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones. Your system's in great shape, but at least you'll know that.
Absolutely.
And then you can have a plan on several years down the road to reinspect. But if you're not looking and you don't know, I mean, there's a big risk out there that certainly you need to look at. And focus
and they
on.
truly are everywhere, right? They're in our neighborhood streets. They're in the parking lots of places we shop and eat. They're at the schools that our kids go to, the sporting fields that we go play at, right? Anywhere you are, you're more likely to be next to a light pole probably than another car that's similar to yours, right? They're literally everywhere, and my kids play around these light poles all the time. So it's a great point, and it truly is something that people need to focus on.